Algebra mini lesson, solving equations and inequalities. I'm going to go through a couple of practice problems with you, a couple of reminders, and then you will work on 4 practice problems on your own, then come back to the video and check your work. All right, order of operations, we're going to distribute first. 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times a positive 2 is 4. Here we're going to multiply by a negative 12. You're going to make sure to distribute the negative and the 12 to everything on inside. So negative 12 times x is negative 12x. Negative 12 times a negative 1 is positive 12. Okay, now we can combine like terms. So we don't have anything that we can combine on the left side of our equation, so we're going to bring all of that down. Here we have a 4x and a negative 12x. So 4x and negative 12x, you get a negative 8x plus 12. Okay, now you need to move all of your variables to one side of your equation. I'm going to add a positive 8x to both sides so that these cancel. 8x plus 8x is 16x plus 4 equals 12. Now I'm going to move all my integers. I subtract 4 from both sides. So now I have 16x equals 8. Divide by 16. And x equals 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to erase the work so I can show you on the number line here. So x equals 1/2. I'm going to put 1/2 here. I'm going to make this one over here 0 and this one 1. So that would mean that this would be 1.5 and 0.5 negative. So each one of your lines are counting by a half. Okay, problem B. Again, we're distributing this negative. We have a negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 1 is a negative 5. Negative 5 times a negative 2x is 10x. Negative 5 times negative 2, negative times negative, is positive. Okay, we don't have anything to combine on either side, so we're going to move our variables first. I'm going to add 5x to both sides. These cancel. Negative 5, 15x plus 10. Subtract 10 from both sides. Negative 15 is greater than 15x. Divide by 15. And negative 1 is greater than x. You can leave it like this. If you want to switch it the other way, make sure that you're switching both the variables and your inequality sign, because right now it's saying that negative 1 is greater than x. So if you're flipping it, I still need it to say that negative 1 is greater than x, or x is less than negative 1. Okay, so I'm going to put my negative 1 on my number line. Okay, I'm going to have an open circle at negative 1 because it just says less than. And then I need to fill in which side of the number line it goes. And you can always double check. Anything that is on that line should make your inequality statement true. So if I plug in negative 4 is less than negative 1, so that statement is true. Okay, a couple of our key points that we need to remember. I want you to make sure you're distributing the negative. So I'm going to say distribute the sign. Okay, so if it's just a positive sign, you're going to make sure you're distributing that. If it's negative, you have to distribute the number and the negative. And the golden rule of inequalities is to flip the inequality sign when you multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, at this point, I want you to work through the 4 problems on the back. When you're finished, come back and check your work. Okay, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to distribute the 1/3. 1/3 times n is 1/3 n. 1/3 times 1 is 1/3. I'm going to distribute the 1/6. 1/6 times 3n. Make sure you're multiplying your fractions straight across. 1/6 times 3 is going to give you, if you set it up, you've got 1/6 times 3/1. You get 3/6, which equals 1/2. And 1/6 times -5. 1/6 times 5 gives you 5/6. Okay, combining like terms. So if you're looking here at your 1/7 plus 2, or 1/3 plus 2, if you change your fraction so that it has a common denominator, you would have 6/3, which would give us 7/3. So now I have 1/3 n plus 7/3. Okay, move your variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract 1/3 n. I want to have a common denominator, so between 2 and 3, a common denominator would be 6. So I can change this to, say, 3/6, and 1/3 with a common denominator of 6 would be 2/6. So 3/6 minus 2/6 is 1/6 n. Okay, I'm going to add 5/6 to both sides. Again, I need to have my common denominator, so I'm going to make this 14/6 plus 5/6 is 19/6 is less than or equal to 1/6 n. I'm going to multiply by my reciprocal, and 6 divided by, these can cross simplify, and these cancel to 1, and I end up with 19 is less than or equal to n. All right, now let's erase some of our extra work over here. Okay, let's move on to this one. -2 times -2/10 gives me a positive 4/10 x. -2 times 6/10 gives me a -1 2/10. All right, we can combine our variables. Let's subtract 0.15x. Add 1.2 to both sides. Divide both sides by 0.25, and x should equal 8. number 3. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. Plus 3x equals 6. Make sure you're distributing everything. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12. Combine our like terms. We have an 8x and 3x. Leave you with negative 5x minus 36 equals 6. I'm sorry, let's combine our 6 and 12 here. 6 and 12 is 18 minus 4x. Move our variables. Let's add 5x to both sides. These cancel. Negative 36 equals 18 plus x minus 18 on both sides. And negative 36 is negative 54. Okay, negative 2 times negative 3/8 is a positive 6/8 x, and negative 2 times a negative 1 is a positive 2. Okay, move your variables. We're going to subtract 3/8 from both sides. You end up with 3/8x plus 2 is greater than negative 4. Subtract 2. 3/8x is greater than negative 6. Multiply by our reciprocal. And x is greater than, this would be 2, 1, negative 16. Okay, if I were to put this one on a number line, I'd have my negative 16, negative 15, open circle, and the direction is going to go this way. If I put this on my number line, it's going to be a closed dot at negative 54. All right, continue working on your review, and I'll see you tomorrow.